please do so. The next televised council meeting is on September 16th. That will be a budget workshop meeting, which begins at 8 p.m. The next regular council meeting is currently scheduled for September 30th and will be discussed tonight. That is currently set for September 30th at 6 p.m. with public portion beginning at 8 p.m. Our 9/11 ceremony, it will take place in the municipal building parking lot this Thursday, September 11th at 8:40 a.m. sharp. The council met in closed session to discuss the following: board interviews, personnel, contracts, affordable housing, potential township property for sale, legal issues or opinions regarding any items on the open session agenda, litigation updates, and Oprah. And with that, we'll begin the meeting. First, we have presentations. Two presentations tonight, I believe, and I apologize. Our first presentation, which will be a follow-up from last meeting, is a certificate of recognition to Aldedir Mesa from the Cousins Tree Service. Is he here tonight? He is. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm just going to come down there. I apologize. Just we had a as people may recall last meeting, we had a presentation to our police volunteer, ambulance corps, fire department, and DPW, recognizing our first responders as it relates to the tree incident and emergency response on Sussex Road. Mr. Mesa here was unavailable. He was on a well-deserved vacation, I believe. He was the tree company that, in responding, the police officers told him, "Hey, we have a tree down on pedestrians." He grabbed his saws, grabbed his chains, came over, got to work, freed them. We were able to get them to the hospital in time. They are critical. They will be okay, only because of the response, not just of our emergency services, but of our bystanders. And for that, the Township Council recognizes you for not choosing to be a bystander, springing into action to help save one of our neighbors at the Churchill and Sussex Road tree incident on August 14th, 2025. Thank you very much. You want to talk? Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Councilman Goldberg? Oh,
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you so much. You are a true hero. I see you have your family here. Your father is a true hero. He really helped to save lives. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for being in Teaneck at the right time and stopping to help. You really, truly, really are a hero. Appreciate you.
There aren't a lot of people who run towards danger or stop what they're doing to help somebody anymore. And but for the fact that God had you there at that moment, and that the police officer waved you down, and that you went, these two women will be okay. So thank you for taking care of our residents.
Thank you for your compassion and saving one of our residents, our residents, and we appreciate your service.
A lot of people run away from danger, but you actually ran toward danger to help people. So I thank God you were there, and thank you so very much for stepping up and helping them. You are appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So tonight I wanted to recognize Raymond Moore. So I'm going to give you your certificate first. So at Teaneck Night Out, I was at the Shade Tree table talking to Alyssa. When I saw Raymond Moore walking, I said hello, and I really got to see something special. So Alyssa and Raymond had reconnected after all these years, and you could just kind of feel the history. So I got their story. So this is really what Teaneck's about. It's about the neighbors, the friendships, and the stories, and this one is theirs. So I'm going to kind of read Alyssa's email, and if she wants to say anything after. So Alyssa first met Raymond in 2010 when he was working for the township as a lifeguard at Phelps Park, Sprinkler Park. She remembered that while Raymond was always friendly and helpful, his first concern was always the safety of the kids. And that summer, Alyssa was 9 months pregnant, caring for her 1-year-old daughter, Abby, her 2.5-year-old son, Vicken Jr., and she had also just lost her husband 2.5 months earlier. So in the heat of the summer, she wanted to cool off. took the kids to the splash park, and had fun. So her daughter Abby was frogging in the park, and she was going fast and started to cry. At the same time, unbeknownst to them, the drain was becoming clogged, and there was a few inches of water pooling. And Raymond jumped in and saved Abby. And in that moment, he wasn't really just doing his job; he was making sure that she was safe and protecting the entire Ovian family. And you never forget the person that saves your child. Every summer after that, Alyssa and her family looked forward to seeing Raymond at Phelps Park. Even working full time, he would always come back to the sprinklers because he really loved being there. Raymond touched the lives of the Oglian family and so many others in Teaneck. So thank you, Alyssa, for sharing this story and for wanting to honor him after all these years. Raymond, thank you for really embodying what Teaneck is about, for acting swiftly to save Abby, and for going above and beyond. And every parent who is fortunate enough to have you watching over their child at that park is grateful. So on behalf of the council, the residents of Teaneck, and Alyssa, Vic, and Abby, and Nathaniel, it's our honor to recognize you tonight. Thank you for your dedication, kindness, service, and being an important part of our community. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Let's say a few quick words. I just want to say thank you for this honor and award from the council for giving it, and Hillary Goldberg, and also her friend Alyssa. And also want to thank Sean, and also Sean's previous boss, the supervisor back then. He was the one who, I don't remember his name, forgive me, but he was the one who gave me the job. I came and said, hey, I'd like to work with the town. And I first started at the Teaneck tennis courts and met a lot of people there. And then he transferred me to Phelps Park, which I think is like one of the best parks over there. Had the pleasure to meet a lot of people from like the staff, the campers, and also a lot of families over there, and met a lot of longtime friendships. And one of the things I learned is that from there is that, you know, don't take people for granted. You know, just love everyone, be happy, say thank you to everyone, and treat everybody as like you like to be treated. Like, you know, it was just so amazing. To be, that's one of the best things I learned, and just the relationships I made and the friendships I made over there, and just it was just so fun. That job was so fun over there, and it's still fun. So don't, whether you make whatever your salary is for whatever you do, whatever it is, just treat people, because you don't know who you can meet, whether it's the janitor or CEO. Just treat people how you want to be treated, and smile and say hi. I wasn't even thinking she was gonna even do this. I saw an email and I said, "What's going on? Huh? What happened?" And this was like maybe 10, 20 something, yeah, some time ago, you know, and it was just cool. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So yeah, thank you. Just want to share that.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, I lost my voice a little bit, because we were at the Shade Tree Advisory Board table and the band shell was right there on Sunday. The Teaneck Day was fantastic. And I got to reconnect again with Raymond at our second event already this year. And I'm very, very grateful, because you really touched my life and the lives of my family. And I'm eternally grateful. And I hope that we continue to keep in touch. And I got to meet your wonderful mom this evening, which I'm so happy about. So thank you. I really, and thank you so much, Hillary. And thank you to the council for this. Thank you so much.
Sure. Echo all the comments that were already made. Raymond, thank you for being such a great part of this community. You really are what Teaneck is all about. So thank you so much. And hi, Mom.
Mr. Mayor, if I may. Raymond, so I have a 10-year-old son, and he's very active, always at the park, always at the pool, always at the splash pad. And I worry about him, especially when I'm not with him, when he's with his mother or with his grandparents. And I'm grateful for people like you, because you're one of those angels that help keep an eye on our kids. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And I diddle that. You know, you're such a great addition to our community, and thank you for all that you and your family do.
Thank you very much. You guys can stay for the rest of the meeting. You can go home, whatever you like. It's going to be very interesting. Councilman McGunn, you want to jump into the next presentation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So council had some questions about the Hyatt Fund, its history, its role, its guidelines. And so the Social Services Advisory Board met to do some of the research, and a lot of them were here for the history and the establishment of that fund. And some of them mentioned how the guidelines haven't been updated since the late 80s or the early 90s. So council invited, thank you, Mayor and Deputy Mayor, the chair of that board, Tess Tomasi, to come and make a brief presentation. And here is Tess. And thank you, Chairwoman Tomasi, for coming tonight.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Tess Tomasi from Social Services Advisory Board. I'm the chair of the Social Services Advisory Board. A little bit of background on us. Last year, 2024, I don't think we had any meetings. There was a chair vacancy. So this year, 2025, we started meeting. And yes, we looked at these guidelines. I don't know what year it is, but I think it's 1996 that they were last revised. I guess back then they had the foresight to make them flexible enough that apparently they're still pretty much working. But I know you have some questions. I don't really have a formal presentation. I thought I was here to answer questions. But right now the balance in the fund is $334,000, $334,230.88. That is with the initial fund was, I think, $250,000. So it accrues interest every year, and the interest is actually what's being used to fund emergency payment requests from the residents for housing-related issues. So I don't know if you have, one of the things that we're doing right now then is looking at the guidelines, seeing if there's ways that we can update them. We're also looking at ways that we can, like, just put some rules into place on like what is acceptable, how to vet the cases, more like, in writing type of rules. We did talk about the vetting process, the screening process, and because the social worker is the one who looks at these cases, gets the information, does the verifications, and it looks like he's pretty thorough about it. He really looks at these cases and makes sure that the payment is appropriate, that they don't have any other resources. There's no other resources in the community, and so that's when he steps in with these payments. It's not a lot. I was counting up real quick how many this year so far. 7 disbursements. Last year it was 3. The year before it was 3. So it's not a lot. Did you have questions?
I do. How much interest does the fund generate each year? What are we talking about?
I don't know. That's a question for the financial people. I don't think I have a lot of papers in front of me, and I don't know with all these papers what that is.
The total of the 7 disbursements that we made this year, what was that? And was that just based on interest, or did that touch the principal of the fund?
The principal has never been touched. So what's in there right now is over the original principal still. And I think there was discussion about changing the amount that's available from 10,000 to 30,000, and that 30,000 is about the principal every year.
Interest.
The interest every
I mean,
year.
interest. Sorry.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, she actually prepared an email that she shared with the Social Services Advisory Board. Would you be okay if I shared that email with council and the clerk?
Yeah, sure. But, that was kind of talking about what the proposed guidelines are going to be.
Okay.
So
Can you elaborate a little bit on that, please?
1996, the maximum amount was $1,500 for the emergency assistance, and $1,500 now does not get a person out of an eviction process because no one's rent is only $1,500. And then it said it could go over $1,500 with the authority of I think it was called the Local Assistance Board, which doesn't exist anymore. So that's, these are things that need to be updated. So we're looking at, is 5,000 more appropriate, because 5,000 does usually get people who have a moderate income, moderate rent out of the eviction process. We also looked at things, I can't remember what's on there. I have my phone with me. So we looked at the vetting process, and also about touching the principal, is that we agree that we don't think that we should touch the principal if at all possible. But we also said that we think that the town should be open to any opportunities to increase funding, like for any opportunity to have some funding go in there.
Yeah, you guys also mentioned along with our social worker saying that maybe the town can look into, maybe the CFO and the manager could look into how to grow that fund even more so that this way there's more interest money available to share with residents who are in need.
Yeah, I mean, if it's needed. I mean, one of the things to keep in mind is that there haven't been a lot of requests. And I think this is based on, it's supposed to be a fund of last resort, right? And there are programs that exist that have things like emergency rent assistance. And so, clients would be going to those programs first. But what happens often, if you've ever tried to navigate preventing yourself from becoming homeless, is that these funds run out of money at different times of the year. It depends on when the grant cycles happen and if they get donations and things like that. So you could conceivably be calling like 10 different places asking them if they have funding right now because you're about to go to court for an eviction. So that's why, it's not a lot of requests, but so I don't know that I think we should do a more detailed financial analysis on what's been going on with it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love the idea of growing the fund, and maybe this is a question for Scott. Sorry to put you on the spot. Would we be able to ask developers that we're working with to contribute as part of any, strategic partnership to contribute to this fund?
That's something that we can include as part of our redevelopment agreements. Yeah.
I have a question on, so the original fund, Councilman Pagan sent the original 94 paperwork to everybody, or 92, whatever it was. So when we're looking at applicants, how are we basing it? So I remember Hyatt, if I recall, it was priority seniors, and I think that we're honoring the intent with affordable housing and seniors. This was the classic residence, yes? The Hyatt building? There's the Hyatt, right?
Classic residence now.
Right. So what's as the, from your perspective, what's your thoughts on how we, assess the applications and how do we get people to those resources that you mentioned before first? I don't know if they are getting there, but is that something that your board is working on?
Well, so it's the township social worker who does all this legwork with the clients. And he does require that they go and look and see if there are other resources in the community. Whether they're able to verify, like get a written document from an agency saying we rejected you, I don't know. So these are things that we're looking at in terms of updating the guidelines. As to it being for seniors, that is in the language that it doesn't say it prioritizes seniors. It just says things like helping seniors, but it doesn't say it excludes anybody else. And I know that the funds have gone to help people of any age.
There are other things. I thought I saw something in there that it could help homeowners too, not just rentals. So if somebody's having trouble paying their mortgage, I thought I saw something about home repairs. Is that something that's within Denver? I think I can pull up we all got it, but is that something that we've used, or is that a county resource that we can use? I just want to make sure that we're helping as many people as we can.
It does have, it is housing related, and I think it's the rules say housing issues or other things that are deemed appropriate. That's like a, necessity. It includes home repairs, mortgage, rent, property taxes.
I'm sure we can actually talk about this all night. So I think there's some changes, and I mean, we work on this all the time in New York City. This is a great program. You want to keep talking with the board. Thank you for bringing this.
Yeah. And I'll share, if it's okay with you, I'll share the email with everybody and we could sleep on it, come up with some ideas.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think it definitely is in the climate that we're in, as much as we can help our residents that, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, we don't want any Teaneck families to
100%.
lose their home.
Can we ask that?
So
Oh, sorry.
around.
Thanks. So Scott, if we want to change the guidelines, how does that work now? Procedurally, what do we do? Let's say we want to increase the amount to $30,000 and whatever other guidelines. Does the council vote on it? Does the advisory board vote on it? Do they bring it to us?
It would be, I mean, ideally, they would bring it to us and we vote on it through a resolution. But ideally, it would come directly from them to council.
Thank you. Hill, you want to wrap it up, please? Go.
It was similar. I just wanted to actually ask if we would be okay if the board met and kind of put together a finding to, for us to look at for the resolution. So it's
That
pretty much
was-
the
yes,
same
that-
thought,
yes.
exactly the same.
Councilman Pagan, you were collecting that, correct? Yes,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Chair
Thank you for your.
All right, I missed was I supposed to, I missed.
No, 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 I'm going to share your email with everybody, and then the attorney's going to look at it, and everybody's going to look at it and sleep on it and come up with some ideas.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chairwoman.
Thank
Tomas.
you.
Thank you very much. Chris. Okay. Okay, with that, we'll go on to our work session items. First item is miscellaneous. Anyone miscellaneous? Councilwoman G.
I'd like to add to the consent agenda, Doug, 10 resolutions nominating for appointment to advisory boards, 10 individuals. You ready?
Yes.
All right, so number 1 for the Senior Citizens Advisory Board, I'd like to nominate for appointment Richard Contreras. Full member role, the term is January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. Number 2, for the Site Plan Review Advisory Board, I'd like to nominate Susan Berman for an alternate 1 role with the term of Jan 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Yes, I was following what was on what you had on the website. Yep. I can also email these to you after. Okay. To 12/31/26. So number 3 is for the Parks, Playground, and Recreation Advisory Board, Ernest Williams for a full member seat, January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Next, number 4 for the Parks, Playgrounds, and Recreation Advisory Board, Aaron Glatt for a full member seat with the term of January 1, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. Next, for the Teaneck Municipal Alliance Against Substance Abuse, this is a reappointment for Victoria Fisher as chair and full member with a term of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Number 6 is Teaneck Municipal Alliance Against Substance Abuse, Nancy Cochran, full member seat for a term of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Number 7 is also for Tomasa, Adrian Williams, full member seat, January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Number 8, also for Tomasa, Tiffany Walker. She is our FDU representative. Term January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. Number 9, also for Teaneck Municipal Alliance Against Substance Abuse, Michael Myers. He's our health officer for a term of January 1, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. And then number 10, also Tomasa, Antherson Ramirez, police officer seat for a term of 1/1/25 to December 31st, 2026. Those are my 10 nominations.
Second.
You-
And then, do we need to vote on that to move them forward, or can I make nominations also
You can make nominations as well.
as well?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'd like to make 5. Yenlis Flores for Tomasa, full member, January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2026. January 25 through December 31st, 26. Okay. To the Board of Adjustment, I'd like to nominate Jonathan Cohen, full member seat that will expire December 31st, 2026. It's currently a vacant seat. To the Planning Board, Yehuda Cohn, Class 4 member, July 1st, 2023 to fill the remainder of that seat to 12/31/27. To the Planning Board, Sean Evans, the Environmental Committee member, term January 1st, 25 through December 31st, 27. And to the Patriotic Observance Advisory Board, Joseph Avino, full member, January 1st, 25 to December 31st, 26.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, I didn't know we were doing nominations, but since we are doing nominations, I would like to nominate Alan Stone for Class 4 Planning Board member.
Second.
Class 4, sir.
And the term?
Doug, do you have it? I think it's only about a year.
The open term is
Yeah, that-
July 1st, 23 to 12/31/27.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Okay,
Alan Stone has to be the Class 4 planning
Second.
board.
And Mr. Mayor, I have 2 nominations.
sure. Wait.
Sorry.
1 second. Doug, tell us when you're ready.
Alan Stone, Class 4 Planning Board member. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Lucria Ortiz.
To 27.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
I'd like to nominate to the Parks Playground Advisory Board, Michael Dodes and Yael Geller.
Second.
And Yael Geller.
Okay, are those the openings, the Personnel Committee? Anybody else on nominations? Okay, Mr. Clerk, how do you want to go with that? Is that going to be on the back end?
Absolutely. Thank you, Cable Master Goodman.
Can we do this one at a time? I couldn't even keep track.
Yeah. please.
Yeah, so I heard some nominations that we wanted to consider this evening. Then we had some other nominations, and I'm just wondering if we bring all these back with resolutions for the next consent agenda.
I said that we have large vacancies and we have.
Yeah, you're right.
And more importantly, we have some legal matters on some of the boards that.
So you want to act on these tonight?
I would like to act on these tonight because on the recommendation of our attorneys as it relates to certain session matters of the Board of Adjustment.
So if that's the case, then Scott, if you could just confirm that it's cool, we could take all these nominations, I can make resolutions with them, and when we get to the consent agenda, we can pull them and vote on them separately.
That's correct.
Is that amenable to council as well?
We don't,
Yes.
I'll just say for the record.
Attorney, we didn't interview some of these people in closed session.
So I was checking the ordinance, the current ordinance. We don't need to. They just need to be people who applied. So if they all are applicants and apply to the process, then that's okay.
Okay.
What I was going to say though, Doug, we don't have to put it on the consent agenda to start with, just to pull it off. If we want, we could just list it separately.
So just to understand, we don't have to interview them, though I think we actually did interview everyone. Is that correct? We have, okay.
So I actually like Scott's idea where we can handle the consent agenda, and I think we've done that in the past, where then we could look at almost consent agenda part 2, which will
Excellent.
be our appointments. I'll start getting that together, and then once we're all done with the consent agenda, we'll go through it again and take our votes.
Excellent.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor, I have another thing under miscellaneous.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of happy news. This is the New Jersey Planner, which is a monthly publication for New Jersey planning officials. And once a year, they honor the achievements in planning. They honor people, they honor projects, and they honor publications like master plans. And they are actually recognizing the TNEC master plan. And it's only 3 paragraphs long, so please bear with me. I hope you don't mind if I read it. But they're giving us some major kudos. They're saying TNEC's newly adopted master plan, developed by their planning consultant in partnership with the Master Plan Steering Committee and Planning Board, sets a forward-looking vision for the township's future. This comprehensive planning effort was grounded in meaningful public engagement, including bilingual online surveys, interactive community forums, stakeholder interviews, and multiple opportunities for public feedback. The plan identifies strategic locations for new development, particularly along key commercial corridors and transit routes, and reflects community preferences for design and redevelopment. It lays out best practices to guide future planning and redevelopment efforts, covering a broad spectrum of issues: land use, urban design, economic vitality, mobility, and historic preservation. The master plan offers clear objectives, paired with actionable recommendations. With unanimous adoption by the Planning Board in January 2025, it now serves as a roadmap for Teanic's evolution, balancing growth, accessibility, and respect for its character. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped make this happen, because we're getting some statewide
Yeah,
recognition.
I'm getting a few of those myself. That's excellent.
I could add to that. I say thank you for that, Councilman Pagan. I think a thank you also is due our community, because our community was certainly vested in the master plan. So thank you for reading that. I saw that the other day as well.
Excellent. Okay, old business, New Jersey Resiliency Grant.
Yep. So, Mr. Mayor, so in the packet, I put together a deck. I'm not presenting it, but just so quick read. So I forwarded an email to the manager that I got from the New Jersey, New Jersey Regional Planning Grant, which was rolled out by the governor. I discussed this in October 24. This is a highly competitive NJDO DEP grant. Only 6 awards are going to be awarded statewide. It funds regional climate resilience planning, not for individual towns, but it's partnerships of 3 or more contiguous municipalities working alongside a community-based organization. And the goal is to develop actionable plans for dealing with stormwater, flooding, extreme heat, and other climate-related hazards. The grant totals between all the organizations in each team is $500,000 to $800,000 with 0 cost to our residents. It covers staff time for an overhead that are fully reimbursed. The state covers consultant fees between $300,000 and $500,000 in engineers, planners, and designers. Again, no cost to the residents. The consultants do all the work, the hazard assessments and the planning. The staff support is fully reimbursed, and they estimate it to be about 2 hours per week per town. And this is consistent with the master plan that was updated. So on August 28th, I got contacted by Northern Jersey Community Foundation, and I forwarded that to the manager. And then yesterday at 3:30, I get an email from Hackensack and New Milford that they have partnered up and are interested in pursuing this grant, and we're literally the town in between them. So they're asking for us to join. So I included that email in there too, and I said that I would raise it tonight. So the grant application is due on October 14th. So because of the timeline for our council meetings, if the council agrees to have the manager move forward, next meeting we would have to do the grant application resolution authorizing her to sign it. And then that would really be it for then. But so we're not voting on anything. It's just, can we authorize the manager to do this and have a resolution next meeting for the.
So we're nodding heads to authorize the manager to fill out this grant. Do we have it on the heads? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
We just don't have any information on this. This is the first we're hearing it. If you could send the information out to us so that when the manager fills out the resolution, or the application, we can know what we're voting on.
Yep, it's in the packet.
Perfect.
It's actually not. It doesn't list the amount. It doesn't list
It's
what
40
has to be
pages.
done with it or how it's split. There's a piece of paper in here with a bunch of points, and it looks like it's from an old packet.
So can we please have the actual full packet sent out and ahead of the application, and we have thumbs up for the manager to start that process
And
ahead of the next meeting's vote?
quick question, Mr. Mayor. So how many hundreds of thousands of dollars might we be eligible for if we get this?
500 to 800 between the 4 group. It's a team. It's not like we get money. It's as a group, we tackle this together, which is why it's a group, and it's got to be 3 contiguous towns. Doug, did you get the full 40 pages? I could have sworn I saw 40 pages in there. It had the grant application, the 2 emails, and the explanation, because nobody was reading 79 pages. I got that.
Excellent. So we'll read that ahead of the next meeting, and the manager will start proceeding to fill out the application. Okay, new business. So new business communications.
I got new business, Mayor Schwartz. I apologize. We have a meeting scheduled for September 30th, and council has made it known to me that they are desirous to reschedule this meeting to Monday, September 29th. And as long as everyone is still in agreement, which I believe we are, if we could get a motion and a second from council and perhaps an all in favor, we will also act on that resolution this evening.
I'll make a motion that we move the September
Second.
30th meeting to the 29th due to the holidays. Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Second
Yes,
by
that will
Mayor
be on
Brown.
the consent agenda resolution number, sorry, just for the record here, resolution number 256-2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was new business. Do we need anything for the 15th, 16th? That's already set up for next.
That's on our
On the
consent agenda.
got it.
Thank you for checking.
No problem. Communications, committee reports by council liaisons. Anybody have reports? Go ahead, Mr. Councilman Goldberg.
So I'm actually just going to combine PPRB and most because there's a lot of overlap. So everybody knows at this point, I think the manager did a great job putting out there. Sagamore Park is moving forward. The contractor mobilized, and the drainage is starting. So I'm very happy for that. And we went over that. The playground. I'm going to let the manager talk about the playground. For Brooks Park, the new slide arrived. It did not fit the original footing, so DPW is adjusting the base and has a replacement on order. The prefab bathrooms are progressing with an expected completion around April 2026. Is that okay? The bathrooms are going to include drinking fountain and bottle filler. So also thank you, Councilman Kaplan, for pushing the bathrooms heavy. DPW is also responding to resident concerns about porta potties being too close to homes in Brooks in the park. So adjusting the placement while the permanent bathrooms is important. Herrick, the new splash pad and playground open. The slippery surface issue was addressed, and the roads are currently gravel, but engineering is designing the path for those approaches and is going to add parking on Herrick, and the benches will be added. So PPRB asked if we can just make sure that they get a sense of how many benches in the placement, if we can just send them a overview. And Farah also mentioned that Green Acres is closing out and is underway. The built survey and reimbursement paperwork were submitted, and the field visit is pending. For Votee Inclusive Playground, we secured Jake's Law grant before the state program sunset. And to make this a community-built project, there is a public survey that's live with a QR code. Large signs are being posted in the park. I don't know if the DPW got back to Sean on this sign. He was concerned about printing it, so I don't know if it's going to be done or not. And then for Movies Under the Stars, there was some requests for neighborhood access to not have it only at the bandshell. Can we look into maybe doing a projector and having inflatable screens so that way we can do movies in the park and other areas of town as well?
I'm sorry, why?
I was asked if we can do movies in the parks and other areas of town as well, so people can walk to the park. They don't have to drive.
Rent equipment, put it up, go deep.
They asked if we
all
could,
the events.
they asked if we
time.
could look into a projector and
Yeah,
inflatable
got it.
screen. That was the ask.
If I could just interject really quickly at the county. We have like a blow up. It's kind of like a bouncy house, but you can actually put movies onto them, and it's relatively cheap and easy to transfer if we're ever interested in doing that.
Right, I'm just saying we also entails quite a bit of overtime to a band shell.
All they asked that we look into it.
Thank you.
I'm relaying the message. And then as far as the plaques, there was an ask at most that we consider including whatever advisory board is involved in this process. The process is going forward on some of the plaques, and I happen to agree that we should recognize our volunteers. It's respectful. We don't have to list every single name. We can list the board, but that was an ask for them. That was really it.
Any other reports? I'll go with mine. We have Cedar Lane Management Group is tomorrow night with dinner. Come on by, 6:30 on Cedar Lane. Council list of items recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month 2025 proclamations. Council members Goldberg and Pagan, please go ahead.
If you want to read it, please feel free. I'd just like to.
Before the month's over.
But Latinos are the fastest growing community across America. Spanish is the fastest growing language across the world, along with Mandarin. They're second. But Latinos make up a very large part of this community, so I just want to say thank you for considering this proclamation. It is appreciated.
So I'm just going to read it very quickly. This is pretty much what Councilman Pagan had last year. So Hispanic Heritage Month is the 15th of the month to the 15th of October. Doug, I just want to make sure that we correct it as a typo. It's October 15th, not 25th. So the Township of Teaneck takes pride in recognizing and celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th to October 15th, which highlights the historical and present contribution of Hispanic Americans to American society and culture. Hispanic Americans trace their roots to Spain, Mexico, Central America, South America, and Spanish-speaking nations of the Caribbean. Whereas the observance was born in 1968 when Congress authorized the president to issue an annual proclamation designating National Hispanic Heritage Week, and 2 decades later, the lawmakers expanded the observance to a month-long celebration. The observance coincides with National Independence Day in several Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, Chile, and Belize. According to the United States Census, Teanec's Hispanic population represents about 26% of our residents. Teaneck remains committed to providing resources and support for Spanish-speaking communities. Teaneck celebrated its first Latino mayor with Mayor Michael Santiago Pagan in 2023. And whereas Teaneck proudly recognizes the innovative pioneers, activists, and entrepreneurs and Latino artists who have profound impact on our nation's culture through creative forms like painting, sculpting, acting, and music, Teaneck's Hispanic community has made valuable contributions to the life, culture of Teaneck, and the township has commemorated such contributions to our community with paintings such as the Si Se Puede mural in the township at the Richard Rhoda Center parking lot. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we recognize September 15th to October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month, and I would like to move this to the consent agenda.
Second, if I could add one more thing, Mr. Mayor, there are a lot of great events that are scheduled throughout town and the county from September 15th to October 15th. They're family friendly, good food, great music, great people. So please come out.
Excellent. Okay, on to the township manager's report.
There was a motion to move it.
Oh, if that would make sense, I make a motion. You want to make the motion, please?
Second.
Second, okay. Will you roll call on that, Mr. Clerk? To move this motion.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes, sir.
Councilman G.
Yes.
Councilman
Is
Katz.
actually preference for this. Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. Adopted.
Okay,
Or to consent agenda. Sorry.
Mrs. Manager.
Wrong ad lib.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council and Township residents. First and foremost, I would like to thank our Recreation Department, DPW, Police Department, Fire Department, Health Department, Doug Roussillon, TVAC, community members, volunteers, and our council for making Teaneck Day a true success. I hope everyone enjoyed the day. Friendly reminder that our Teaneck Day movie Under the Stars has been rescheduled to Saturday, September 13th at Voti Park Bandshell. Showtime is 7:45. Please bring your blanket or lawn chair for comfort, and free popcorn will be served. I also want to acknowledge our DPW for completing our school crosswalks before the first day of school. And they are also repainting the additional crosswalks within the next couple weeks for the safety of our students and pedestrians. Please be advised that our 9/11 ceremony will take place on September 11th at Township Hall starting at 8:40 a.m. All are welcome to attend. Please be advised that the new Milford Library is no longer open on Sundays, but once the Teaneck Library reopens in November, we will continue offering Sunday hours. Our compost pilot program ends on November 1st, but the township will continue with this program for one more year so we can evaluate whether we need to consider possible monthly membership fees and/or limitations on participants to keep the program budget friendly. Thank you to all of our compost neighbors for your dedication and continued participation in this program. More details to come. Our townwide garage sale is scheduled for September 27th and 28th with a rain date for the following weekend. Please refer to the QR code for sign up. Our Poet Laureate will be initiating a 2025 Community Poetry Contest open to all Teaneck residents. The winning poem will be temporarily displayed in one of our facilities and will be presented by our Poet Laureate. Closing date will be October 1st. Please look for details on social media. The Voti Park Inclusive Playground has a QR code displayed for park goers to supply input for the upcoming park improvement project. Please feel free to complete the survey. The Teaneck Community Pool has successfully made it through our first season, and we are preparing our TCP subcommittee meeting scheduled for Monday, September 15th at 10 a.m. This meeting is to discuss community feedback, renovations, rules, regulations, fees, along with anything that we may want to see changed for the 2026 season. All are welcome to watch via webinar, and in-person participation is welcome. Friendly reminder that our pedestrian safety initiative continues later this month with a demo project to include curb extensions at Ayers Court, Queen Anne Road, and Palisade Avenue. will be installed on September 28th, and the community is welcome to attend and participate in painting. The curb extensions will be in place for a minimum of 4 to 8 weeks. Surveys will be utilized to receive feedback as to the effectiveness of the curb extensions. In addition, a senior citizen pedestrian safety seminar is scheduled for September 30th at 12:30 at the Rhoda Center. Please contact the Recreation Department to register. Our next shredding event is scheduled for September 20th and 21st from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or until the truck is full at the Township Hall parking lot. The Township, along with Cedar Lane Management Group, will be hosting a Teaneck tailgate on September 28th from 12:30 to 7:30 p.m. All are welcome to attend. Our next community cleanup day is scheduled for Sunday, October 5th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Please use the QR code on the flyer to sign up. Our flu vaccination program will be offered on October 22nd and 23rd from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Rhoda Center. Appointments are required starting September 15th through our health department. Please refer to our website for additional details. The DOT is scheduled to begin a project late September, early October titled Route 4 Eastbound and Decatur Avenue Ramp Widening. This will require the full closure of the Decatur Avenue exit ramp. Traffic traveling eastbound on Route 4 will be detoured to Rockwood Place Grand Avenue exit in Englewood and directed to circle back westbound. The duration will be about 1 month. Proper notifications will be forthcoming. For our project updates, Fike Lane improvements, the project is now complete. Argonne Park tennis courts are going to have a final walkthrough this week, and I hope to reopen by the end of the week. The Bell Avenue drainage project, the contractors are on site and will remain there for about 2 to 3 months. And once the detention tank is installed, the contractor will mill and pave Bell Avenue from Beatrice to Sagamore Avenue. Our 2024 road resurfacing project is continuing. Brooks Park, the design for the outdoor exercise area and restrooms is underway, and project completion will be in the spring. The Sagamore Park playground improvements, the concept plan has been finalized, removing the splash pad and adding 2 additional play sets to the park, which I will share with everyone next meeting. The Maple Avenue improvements, construction is set to begin in October. And the Phelps Park splash pad design is complete, and we are ready to go out to bid. Some action items from last meeting I'd like to update you all on. Decatur Avenue, I met on site today with Ms. Baker and with Ms. Lawson, is that how you say it? With our traffic bureau to discuss what can be done in the area. There were some DOT concerns that the police department has already sent over to the DOT to handle, and these include a guardrail to be placed at the west side of the ramp, which would protect the bus stop and pedestrians, improvement to Decatur Avenue exit advisory signs, making them larger or more visible, tree maintenance to make the radius of the exit ramp safe for motorists exiting onto Decatur Avenue or entering Route 4. In addition, parking on the west side of Decatur Avenue will now be no parking anytime. Signatures will be obtained, and I will list this on the agenda for September 30th. Also, a yellow painted median will be added at the Decatur Avenue stop sign facing south. The Traffic Bureau also discussed the traffic study data with these residents, which do not warrant placement of speed control measures at this time. Community policing has also been advised and is addressing the curbing of pets in the area. I, along with the Traffic Bureau, will monitor these improvements and report back to the residents on progress. We have successfully signed up for the Mayor's Wellness Program. The program focuses on community projects that address mental health, substance use, stigma, to include mental health first aid programming. Our grant writer is actively working with our health officer to identify the specifics for a $15,000 grant application that is due September 12th. We will be applying for a youth mental health first aid training. Grayson and Prince, the Traffic Bureau has confirmed that we are monitoring the area with directed patrols to see if any other traffic recommendations should be implemented. Last meeting, we discussed the Shade Tree Advisory Board's request to have Nate Oglian plant some saplings in Teaneck parks. The DPW has updated me that 2 species of trees have been approved, and a total of 24 trees will be planted in Sagamore, Phelps, and Brooks Park. We will assist with location, and Nate will be assisting with the care of these trees. So we thank Nate for his community engagement in beautifying our township parks. Please remember to sign up for township alerts on the front page of our website. Mayor, that's all I have for you tonight.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mrs.
Just
Manager.
one question for her on the crosswalks.
Yes.
Is Garrison and Cumberland included in the list of crosswalks?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I have a couple of things tonight. The first, I want to address two ordinances that are on the agenda for adoption. The first is the noise ordinance. I talked about this in some depth at the last meeting when it was introduced. I want to provide an update that it has since been approved by DEP, which means that if the council decides to adopt it tonight, it will be actually enforceable. We have provided a red line version that's in the agenda packet per the request of Dr. Powers at the last meeting as well. Next ordinance I want to mention that's on the agenda. This is the amendments to the ADU ordinance. There are, I believe, three changes that are being proposed to it. The first is a definition of housekeeping facilities. We had received lots of questions about what that means in terms of qualifying whether something is an ADU or not, and so we provided a definition of that. The second is just clarifying is essentially a typo before about how the maximum space that an ADU can occupy is to be calculated. And the third is just clarifying that the health department is entitled to conduct inspections and charge a fee as part of that inspection process. So it's just those three modifications to the ADU ordinance that is up for consideration for the council tonight. Two of the things I want to talk about. First is that the township has received a challenge to our housing element plan or affordable housing element plan from the Fair Share Housing Center, as well as 4 of the developers listed on our plan. We have until December 31st to respond or work with them to see if we can resolve it first. Because the township has complied with its affordable housing obligations to date in this latest round, we have a presumption of validity for our plan, and we are currently therefore immune from builders' remedy lawsuits. I would like to go through some of our thoughts as to our initial responses to mainly the challenge that we received from Fair Share, and I'd like to just go through that for the council and for the public's edification. I guess I would start by noting that the New Jersey League of Municipalities recently held a session where they advised us that Fair Share has filed roughly or over 400 objections and challenges to almost every municipality in the state. We are not alone here. They're challenging almost everybody. The challenges are largely copy and paste, and I mean that quite literally. They seem at one point to get us confused with Rockaway. At another point, they seem to think that Teaneck is in Middlesex County. It's because they just copied and pasted between these many challenges. Their lack of specificity, as well as the fact that they're challenging about more than 400, suggests they're basically taking a shotgun approach to litigation rather than focusing on where they think there are actually problems. There are 4 specific challenges or issues that they have with our plan. The first is that they are objecting to how the township has calculated, it's called the vacant land adjustment and realistic development potential, which essentially goes towards how many units, affordable housing units, we need to provide. And they're requesting that the calculation be redone in hopes of achieving higher numbers to require that the township provide more affordable housing units. They're looking for 2 main things. The first is that they want us to include what are called likely redevelopment or underutilized parcels, just certain types of property that may be able to be redeveloped, but it's not clear whether or not they can be. Problem is they don't give us any specific examples of any properties in town that would actually qualify. It's just a general objection, which they're not allowed to do that. They need to give us some specifics. That way we know what they're talking about, which they haven't done. The second is that they want each parcel of property that we identify in our plan to be analyzed individually as to the permitted or what the required density as to how many units should be allowed on a given piece of land. What we did is apply a standard density requirement of 6 dwelling units per acre. that is the standard that, as far as our understanding is, that's the standard that's required by law. They seem to want us to analyze them individually. That way they can get more density on each given parcel, but we don't think it's even permitted by law, much less something that we should voluntarily agree to. So we think these challenges to our calculation here are arbitrary. We think they're unreasonable. Topology, our planner, has another client of ours that we spoke with. They received an almost essentially identical challenge by a fair share to their calculation of the vacant land adjustment. Problem is, they didn't actually try to do a vacant land adjustment. So a fair share was objecting to something that doesn't exist for this other town. And that goes to show that we think they're just being arbitrary and applying this to everybody rather than choosing where it should actually apply. We know that Topology, again, our planner, has used the same methodology for all their towns. A number of other towns that they represent, that used the exact same calculations that we did not receive any sort of challenge from fair share, which again, we think goes to our point that this is just arbitrary and that fair share is essentially just making this up and there's no real rhyme or reason for why they challenged us specifically. The second thing that they are challenging is our fourth round unmet need mechanisms. So they are calling for they're asking that we identify parcels to be redeveloped that exceed 25% of our identified need. They essentially want us to show the properties that will cover 100% of our need for affordable housing, which is I think bizarre to us because we know that we're only required to show at least 25%, and we've already exceeded that. So their insistence that we do 100% is just we think uncalled for under the statute. They are objecting to that we use what are called bonus credits to meet this requirement, but the rules specifically say that we're allowed to do that, so we're not quite sure as to why they're challenging that. They're also requesting that we consider additional mechanism like an overlay. Overlay is inclusionary redevelopment, 100% affordable projects to address the full 100% unmet need. But again, we only need to show 25%, which we've done. The third thing is that they're going back to we're currently in the fourth round now of compliance. They're going back to the third round. They're asking for full records like deeds and site plans of the third round sites, that's easy enough. We're going to provide them with that information. It's all public records anyway, and we will provide that. They're asking for an analysis of whether the unbuilt overlays remain realistic. These overlays that we currently have been around for less than 10 years. Hasn't been really long enough for us to actually evaluate whether or not whether or not they're working or not. And so we don't think that's an appropriate request as part of this challenge. And then the last thing, and this is going to tie into the developer challenge as well, is that they are asking that we, so for each of the properties that we identify on our housing element, we are going to be required by March of next year to adopt changes or amendments to our zoning ordinances to address those properties to make sure that they, at least in theory, could be built. We don't have to do that until March of next year. Fair Share is essentially demanding that we do it now. And they're complaining that I should say do it now. They're complaining that we haven't already done it, even though we're not obligated to do it until March of next year. So on the whole, we don't think there's anything unique or particularly compelling about their challenge to us. We think it's the same as what they're doing in every town. We think a lot of it doesn't really apply to us. And so we're not, like I said, we have until December 31st to try to work with them to get them to either back off or decide that we're going to challenge it or challenge their objection, which at this point is probably where we're headed. The developer challenges. So we've received 4 challenges from developers who are listed on our housing element plan. These are, I think, fairly, from what we're seeing around the state, fairly typical for developers to file this type of challenge. I use challenge, the word loosely there, because really it's not a challenge to how we did our plan like what Fair Share did. They are more of a preservation of rights by the developers, and essentially saying that if we don't adopt these the zoning ordinances by March of next year, they are reserving their rights to challenge us at that point. Which, okay, fine, we're gonna do that because we have to do that anyway. But they're just reserving their rights to see what we do last year and to remain in the conversation as we consider those things. So, like I said, we have until March of 2026 to adopt those. Our plan at this point is we're going to be working with Topology draft those amendments to the zoning ordinance over the next few months. We would like to get to the council and the planning board with plenty of time to spare before March of next year. So we're not in a rush, and the council and the planning board can have, and the public can have plenty of opportunities to review, consider. If the council or the planning board want to hold hearings over it, we will provide those ordinances with plenty of time for you all to do that. The one thing I want to mention today, change of subject, is a lawsuit that's been ongoing for the last few months. It was a challenge. It was an Oprah lawsuit filed by Phil Yucht. We had provided over the summer, fall of last year. He had Oprah'd thousands of pages, hundreds of thousands of pages worth of documents. Doug worked very diligently and well to provide those documents. There were about 230 pages that were partially or fully redacted. Mr. Yuck challenged about 130 of those 230 redactions. The judge just came back in the last week or week and a half and said that specific lines on 27 of those 130 pages are to be unredacted and turned over to Mr. Yuck. We've reviewed them. None of these are substantive. We would call them substantive unredactions. To give some examples of the kinds of things that we're being told to unredact are, one is a sentence that says, "Keenan, please see attached and let me know if you see anything amiss." Second example is we're told to unredact a FedEx tracking number. And the third is we're told to unredact a line that says, "Feel free to reach out with any questions." These are not particularly substantive things. The judge on the whole agreed with our redactions, said they were appropriate. I think the record from what the judge, the decision from the judge shows that Doug, I would say honestly, went above and beyond in what is obligated to do. There were multiple rounds of going back and forth with Mr. Yuck to clarify his request, make sure he received exactly what he was looking for. The court found that in every substantive case, the redactions were reasonable and appropriate. That said, the reason I'm bringing this up is that one of the things that the court ordered is that the township pay for Mr. Yuck's attorney's fees. The problem is that the court used the wrong standard in this. The court, before there were changes to the Oprah law that went into effect September of last year, that before then, if someone filed an Oprah lawsuit and they won pretty much on any level, they were automatically entitled to have their attorney's fees paid for. The legislature changed the law in September of last year to say that it's not mandatory anymore. It's really only supposed to be when the township acted in bad faith, when we were willfully violating Oprah, which is not the case here. As I said, Doug really, I think, did a great job here. So because the court, I literally quoted the language of the old law that doesn't exist anymore, we filed a motion for reconsideration that was filed, I believe, yesterday, and that will hopefully be decided by the end of the month. And we have no problem with handing over those redactions that the court ordered. We're just asking that the court reconsider whether or not to award attorney's fees in this case. I think that's all I have, Mr.
That's all?
That's it.
Yeah. Nothing to report.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I don't know
Yes.
if Mayor Belcher, did you want to ask? So we both kind of had a question on the ADU ordinance. Can you just, two questions to clarify the addition? So if somebody, the definition is an ADU automatically an ADU, or do they actually have to say this is an ADU when they're going in for a permit on that? We both had this question on the language in the amendment today.
So I would say that the changes here don't change what my answer is going to be, what my answer will be for that, which is an ADU is an ADU whether you because you apply for it specifically, you apply for a unit to be considered an ADU, or is in fact an ADU just by how it is used, essentially what is there and how it is being used. If you are if you have, let's say, I'll call it like what could be considered like a secondary apartment within your property, within your house, but it's not actually being rented out, it's not being used as an ADU, that's not something that you would be required to get any sort of approval from the town for. If you are intentionally going out to rent it, though, to members of the public or anyone like that, then you would be required to register it as an ADU. But just because you have all the facilities of an ADU, but it's not actually being used as an ADU, that doesn't require you to come to the town and get approval.
We're not risking anything with the ordinance. So if somebody has a basement that has a living room, a bathroom, and a bedroom, and they're putting in a kitchen, going to the building department to get the permits, they're not automatically getting an ADU and having to deal with the parking and the fees for that, right?
That's correct. That's correct. They wouldn't have to. So, for example, if you're, I don't know, your child or someone like that just lives in wants to sleep in the basement, and that's what they have, but they're not being rented to them. It's not being used for the purpose of an ADU. It's just a member of your immediate family that's just sleeping down there. That's not going to require you to go through that process. If you're renting it out or doing something like that, then it would.
My other question was, can you just clarify, I guess for the public, the council, me, I'm still not clear. With the affordable housing piece, how does a resident that wants to contribute to our numbers do that in this ordinance? Do they have to submit a letter? Do we have to approve something? Because it's not really clear. And that was the one thing that I was hoping that we would address. And I just want to make sure that everyone understands how that works if we are going to be able to count ADUs towards our affordable housing number.
Sure. So that is whether an ADU goes towards affordable housing is dictated by state law in the sense of there are a specific set of requirements under the New Jersey statutes and New Jersey regulations that lay out the process. And this reference is in section 33-41 E and F of the of that section references those specific regulations. And essentially, you have to you have to submit a letter to the township. You have to provide a deed restriction, which gets attached to literally your deed, gets registered and filed with the county register. It's a 30-year deed restriction. It will then have to be essentially accepted by the township. We have an affordable housing administrator who will then include, once the deed has been filed, the deed restriction has been filed and the letter has been received, they will then amend our submissions to the state to include it as part of our numbers. But we don't do that until the deed restriction's been and the letter have been received and filed and all that stuff. But all those specific things are laid out in, I can just read it, because I have it open here. It's NJAC 5:80-26.1. It's just a state regulation, and there's a couple of subsequent regulations that just lay out the specific process of what someone has to do to qualify for that. And the one other thing I'll say is, if you do that, one of the benefits in the way that we drafted this ordinance is that it allows you to have a larger ADU if you are voluntarily agreeing to do it. It just gives you more physical space as a courtesy for doing that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any
Questions?
I'll
You could, okay.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, public hearing adoption of ordinances.
Yes, sir. We have the ordinances this evening. Ordinance 31-2025, amending the Township Code for the Township of Teaneck to provide for regulation on excessive noise. Ordinance number 32-2025, amending the Township Code for the Township of Teaneck to clarify the requirements and regulations for accessory dwelling units. Ordinance number 33-2025, amending the Township Code to revise no left turn onto certain intersections to include a portion of Teaneck Road. We have ordinance number 34-2025, amending section 36-11.2 of chapter 36 for the Township of Teaneck, adding a restricted on-street parking space for handicap at 1430 Balsam Street. All the ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The hearing is now open for any of these ordinances and only for these ordinances. Amrit.
Good night. I'd just like a couple of clarifications on 31. So within that, we have two positions called a noise control officer and a noise control investigator. Is that related to the code compliance officer we've talked about before? Do these positions fall under the health department? Is this something the zoning officer would also be taking up? Just could you clarify what these positions are? Maybe it's to the attorney.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room would like to talk on these ordinances only? Seeing no hands, Mr. Clerk, do you see anyone on Zoom? Please go ahead and call them.
We have Keith Kaplan.
Hello, Mr. Mayor and Council. Keith Kaplan, Teaneck resident. Had a couple questions on 31-2025, the noise control ordinance. Do want to thank you for the red line. It is helpful here. I had a question regarding construction and demolition activities. I noticed that under section 21-46, under the exemptions, it lists construction and demolition activities are exempt from the sound level limits set forth in tables 1, 2, and 3. The model noise ordinance does mention specific times when construction and demolition activities are not permitted at all, and says that during those times that it is permitted, it would not. It would be exempt from the limits set forth in tables 1, 2, and 3. But here we seem to be merely saying it doesn't fit with the levels, and we don't have that other part where it's not permitted at all during those times from evening until morning. The second question I had, and I'm curious if the DEP saw that, was aware of it when they green lit us. The second question I had regarding the enforcement officers is that they do rely a lot on the C weighting average, which is a DBC scale, which is different from the DBA scale, which is in the general noise ordinance. I'm wondering if our current staff have the equipment to measure decibel ratings at all. We may technically be allowed to enforce it, but if we don't have the equipment to do that enforcement, well, we're not going to be enforcing anything. And I don't want to tie the hands of the people that are currently doing enforcement if they don't have the tools to be able to operate it. And the third question that I had related to the requirements set forth in the state code, where it specifically says that construction and demolition activity is defined in the code as non-minor deviations, and that cannot be given a waiver period or some kind of pass. So I'm curious if we dealt with that at all in our code, because the state specifically calls out construction and demolition activity as a non-minor issue, and that's under NJAC 7:7-27.2C10. Failure to minimize noise during construction, it defines as a non-minor activity that cannot be exempted. So those are the questions. Obviously, a little more for the attorney than counsel, but I just want to make sure that we're able to enforce a noise ordinance if we want to going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. No one else on Zoom? Seeing no more hands, the hearing is now closed. Mr. Attorney, do you want to address any of those questions?
Sure. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get to all, remember all of them, but I'll try.
Call for a vote.
Fair enough. So the first one I'll start with is the difference between the noise control officer and noise control investigator. So a noise control officer is someone who has received specific training from the state as to how to use these devices that can tell the decibel level of different things. And currently, I believe we have one person, I believe in the health department who is trained for that. We are, and so any restrictions in here that are specific to decibel limits can only be enforced by the noise control officer. Our intention, our plan is to have at least one person in the health department and at least one person in the police department who will receive that training, and that way we can have at least multiple people that would be able to enforce those specific ones. There was a question about equipment. We currently have one device that is able to one authorized device that is able to tell the decibel levels. It's kind of, I think my understanding is it's old and outdated, and so I think our plan is at this point to replace that equipment. We'll probably get two of them just for the two separate people that are going to be approved, but that will be something that the council will consider in the future. The noise control investigator is someone who has not received the training. It can basically be any employee of the township who is just generally knowledgeable of this noise ordinance. They are only allowed to enforce things that don't require decibel level. So, for example, one of the things that anything in here, if you see the words plainly audible. So, for example, there are limits on car speaker systems and how loud you can blast music coming from your car. and it limits it to about the distance to about 50 feet from your car. So if we can hear your music from beyond 50 feet coming from your car, it's therefore considered to be plainly audible, because anybody can hear it. Realistically, anybody can hear it. And any member of our police department, for example, or the health department would be able to enforce that and issue a violation for it, because that doesn't require a specific decibel reading. It's just, can you hear it or can you not hear it? So, reasonably anyone who has ears and reasonable hearing would be able to tell that. And those people are only allowed to, they're not allowed to enforce sections that require the specific decibel limits, just the plainly audible ones. The questions, there were a lot of questions, I apologize, I'm not gonna be able to answer all these about the construction demolition activities. What I would say is that the regulation construction demolition activities is an optional part of the model ordinance that is provided by DEP. And if we use their version of it, then the DEP's version included specific decibel limits and times for which that they would be included. What we opted instead to do was include in a separate section at the very end of this. It is essentially a prohibition on that type of activity taking place essentially at night, like in the middle of the night, early in the morning, to the degree to which it would be, again, plainly audible outside or out beyond the property, beyond your property line. So if you're inside your house using a power drill, no one outside your house can, your neighbors can't hear you, that's going to be allowed. But if you're using, heavy duty machinery in the middle of the night and someone can hear you, that's the kind of thing that's meant to enforce. So the section in here, I think that was references 2146, that refers to construction demolition activities being exempt from the sound level limits. What that is essentially saying is that during those hours that, in the middle of the day, if someone wants to perform that type of work, they're not going to be subject to those requirements, because, you have a contractor out front that's digging a ditch or something in front of your yard. They're using heavy machinery. They're going to be loud, realistically. They're not going to be under 65 decibels or whatever it is. And so the purpose of that is within those hours that you are allowed to do it, essentially saying, yes, you're allowed to exceed these limits. So again, I'm sure I
You
did
did a great job. Thank
answer
you
all
very
that.
much. Okay, Mr. Clerk, do we have any motions?
I just had one question on 33. I had asked, are we allowed to regulate the left turns on Teaneck Road if it's a county road?
We will need to get authorization from the county, approval from the county for county roads. Yeah, we'll need to go to them and get
Okay.
recognition for it. Yeah.
We can vote on it
Yeah.
tonight.
Absolutely. We can vote on anything you want. They can strike it down. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinances 31, 32, 33, and 34 of 2025.
Second.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes to all.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes to all.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes to all.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted.
Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. Good and welfare. 3 minutes. Speak on any topic you like. We'll start with everyone in the room. When we're done in the room, we'll move to Zoom. Mr. Schwartz.
Before we pop
Go ahead.
off here, I just want to make a quick announcement about our consent agenda resolution number 255, which is what we were discussing. That was that.
Grant? No?
Yes. Sorry, that was.
Grant's
We got,
258.
255 we are replacing with the resolution that we have out there to include an exhibit.
Got it.
This delineates property that is mentioned within that resolution 255.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Mr. Schwartz, 3 minutes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Ron Schwartz, Larch Avenue, Teaneck. I'm speaking to you tonight on behalf of One Town, One Vote. One Town, One Vote is surprised and outraged that not a single member of this council has said a word about the serious allegations that we have made against redevelopment attorney Michael Ash regarding his conduct, regarding the filing of the amendment, the Affordable Housing Amendment to the master plan. On June 16th, on June 16th, the planning board was advised by Mr. Ash that they had no choice but to adopt the Affordable Housing Amendment that had been proposed, because the June 30th was a deadline. It was hard and fast. and they had to comply with that deadline. He failed to inform the planning board that he had filed a motion with the court to extend that deadline to September 30th. And he failed to notify the planning board and the town council the following night that that motion had not yet been resolved and was still open. The next night, he told the same thing to this body. You have to approve the plan because we have a hard and fast June 30th date to file, and he failed to inform the town council that he had a motion pending to extend this deadline to September 30th. On June 19th, he received notice from the court in the morning that that motion had been granted by the court, extending the deadline to July 31st. He failed to inform either the planning board at that point or this body that that motion had been granted and that we had now the opportunity to change that amendment to the master plan, which was very controversial and which many members had expressed a desire to do so. We raised this issue in the June meeting before the council. We believe that Mr. Ash at that time said, I'm not sure, that he only did not inform the council about the granting of the motion because he had already filed the amendment and it was too late. We showed that to be a lie in August. We presented you with a letter from Mr. Ash to the Superior Court saying, thank you. We are in receipt of your decision, giving us an extension. We no longer need it because we are filing anyway. He failed to inform this body and the planning board that he had gotten that extension, went ahead and filed it anyway, despite the fact that many members had problems with it. We are concerned that moving forward with redevelopment in this town, we need a redevelopment attorney who we can trust. I might add that when I raised these allegations in August with this letter showing that he had lied, he was asked by Mayor Schwartz, do you want to respond to Mr. Schwartz? And he refused to respond. We need a redevelopment attorney that we can trust in this town,
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
and we don't have one.
Thank you. Who else? Amrit? Mr. Siegel next.
Amrit Ramsden, Teaneck resident. I'm here once again asking the council to add a green building code to complement our existing building code. I still recommend the LEED criteria to a minimum standard of silver. It covers water efficiency, energy efficiency, pollution in general, and recycling. It's more construction waste, and carbon emissions. So, in fact, in these codes, you'll notice that they also cover noise pollution, so it would complement our new noise ordinance. It's just something to consider adding to our code. And any code or spec writing the council needs, just reach out. I'll happily write you a whole section if you want. Now, with regards to the recent paving on Cedar Lane or on Teaneck Road past Holy Name, what complete streets criteria have been met? You know, have we added more crosswalks? Have we slowed certain areas? Have we made them more visible, brighter? Just what in general have we done in these sections? And going forward, what's our plan for complete streets when we start paving and doing over these new roads, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's what we covered in that resolution. I don't remember if it made it to an ordinance. Thank you.
Mr. Siegel? Blocking the camera if you give it now. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rich Siegel. I'm a 26-year Teaneck homeowner, and I'm Jewish. I just came from a demonstration against an Israeli real estate event. My sign has two sides. A couple of the council members said that's what Teaneck's all about earlier in the meeting. So I'm wondering if Teaneck's all about Israeli real estate events, because there have been 3 illegal Israeli real estate events in the last 3 days. It's become kind of a cat and mouse game because these events are not advertised in our mayor's newspaper anymore. So we have to find out about them, and then they change locations, and The one today was initially at this Baptiste Bakery, and then it wasn't there, and then we heard it was at a synagogue, and then it wasn't there, and then it ended up in Bergenfield. So that's very good. You're all getting us to like chase you around, and you're doing it clandestinely. But you're not winning anything, because you have to sneak around to do this because it's illegal. And the world is watching you do this while this genocide continues, while it's becoming an actual Holocaust, while there's threats to completely depopulate Gaza. And all you can do is accuse those who confront you of anti-Semitism, including me. I've been called an anti-Semitic Jew. Get that. Israel is finished. Israel will be a pariah forever. What the Jewish community needs to decide is, do the Jewish people also want to be pariahs forever? Or do you want to look at what's going on and see the horror story that the Jewish state is causing, and that this community is supporting it with illegal activity that you are all failing to act on? It makes me sick. It makes me disgusted. It makes me come in here and tell you that. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mr. Siegel. Anybody else in the room like to speak? Ms. Baker?
Good evening, Margaret Baker.
Sir, please sit down in the back. I'm sorry, Ms. Baker. Please sit down in the back, sir, with the sign. Please step outside and go stretch if you want, but please sit down or step out. It's your choice. And you'll speak when I call you. Please sit down or step outside. You can come back when we'll gladly call you when you'll have your turn. Thank you. Ms. Baker, please go ahead. Please reset our time.
Okay. Margaret Baker, Decatur Avenue, Urban Teaneck. I'm here tonight to thank the manager for doing what she said she was going to do. She came out, met with two of the residents of Decatur Avenue, and we actually had a conversation. We gave our side, we heard her side, and there were two police officers with her. So it was a very good conversation and a big relief to know that someone is listening to what's going on. It was very much appreciated. And I hope we continue to have future conversations. You're not out there every day. We are. So we will let you know, and then we can have another conversation. But you made my day, because the last couple of years have been a living hell. So today was a welcome relief. And my neighbor, Kim, was there also. So she got to say what was really happening. So we know things take time, but at least we know it's a possibility, a very good possibility, that we will see changes and we won't be known as the forgotten block. So It took me 40 years to get Decatur on the map. And I guess they say if you work at something long enough and hard enough, and you know what you're talking about, you will get results. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Baker. Ma'am, and then sir, you'll be next after her. Thank you.
Very briefly, my name is Kim Lozon. I live on Decatur Avenue, and I was glad when Mrs. Baker called me this morning to let me know that the township manager would be there. And I also want to express my thanks. It was a very productive conversation. Some things will be coming about that were, or may be coming or will be coming about that we're very happy to hear. So my appreciation to you and also the officers that were there. Very productive conversation. I have a question or two. I'm just wondering with the second building that's going up, I guess behind the first Alfred Avenue building. I know the building that's there now had received a waiver to have less than the normally regulated amount of parking spaces, allowing for parking on the street. And I don't know or how easy it would be to find out if that second building also has a similar waiver, that there will be more concerns about the need for parking on the streets. And of course, one of the things we talked about quite a lot today was the added traffic and the very dangerous ramp there to Route 4, as well as even the intersection. It's just 3 houses wide, our block, where we've seen over the years accidents constantly. And I'm just wondering if, aside from just some trimming, if some significant cutting back of the trees at that ramp to improve the vision at that entrance. And as far-fetched as it sounded, I would like to see or get some feedback, some responses, if any steps can be taken to go to the DOT and ask about the possibility of an entrance off of Route 4. I know it's a big hurdle, but as we have said, it shouldn't take somebody having a fatal accident, but there have been many dangerous accidents, and all of those new residents come out to one little dangerous intersection. So at least show us that we've asked the state, gone back and forth and said, isn't there a way to have a dedicated entrance and exit for these hundreds of new units? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir? Sir?
Can I adjust this?
Yeah, adjust it and just say your name for the record, please.
My name is Jay. I'm a resident of Patterson,
Jay, what's your last name, please?
Wisniewski.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about the illegal real estate sales going on in this town. This is just awful, terrible. I can't believe that something like this is going on right here in my home state and that people would allow this to go on. Imagine you get home from work, a long day. You walked 4 miles each way to get to work just to do your job. And then you get home and you realize someone has stolen your house. Your keys don't work and you can't even get in your house. And that is a reality of what is going on because of these real estate sales. And that is terrible because you have no right to take what's somebody else's and force them out with nowhere to go. What kind of person would do such a thing? This is terrible, and I can't believe that it's going on right here. So I just want to say, if there are any people of conscience out there, or anyone who comes from a marginalized community, who knows what oppression feels like, this is the time to say something about what's going on here in Teaneck with these real estate sales. And not enough people are doing that as of right now. So if you consider yourself a person of conscience,
How are you going to allow this to go on unchecked in your own community, in your own town, among your own neighbors, and not even say a word about it? This is really just awful. And I can't believe that I have to stand here and even say these words to you, that someone needs to explain that it's wrong to steal from someone who doesn't even have the strength to defend themselves and doesn't even have the platform or the voice. I don't know how anyone who does this could sleep at night. I don't know how anyone does this think that it's okay to treat another human being this way. And the amount of racism and discrimination involved in this apartheid system is, there are no words for it. So if you're still silent about what's going on in Teaneck, you really need to rethink your position on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to say anything in the room? Mr. Rose, and then Mr. Power goes next.
Good evening. Howard Rose, 45-year resident of Teaneck. We had a presentation earlier this evening regarding emergency money available for housing, rent relief, mortgage relief, repair relief. I hope that in the planning, that some of the money that's generated by the original principal is utilized and kept with that principal so that the next egg grows as inflation grows, so that the funding remains pretty much constant in its viability of helping people at a sufficient amount. Over a 10 or 20-year period, if that's not done, it'll have diminished utilization. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Dr. Powers. What else?
Dr. Powers, the town code says that by the agenda for council meetings that happen on Tuesday is to be available close of business on Thursday night. As of Friday morning, there was nothing until there were 120 pages of agenda. And by this afternoon, that had grown to 385 pages, and I don't believe for a moment that all of you have read all of them. The last one was Resolution 255. And that resolution is extraordinary in that it seems to explain that we're going to take properly the necessary property that's parkland and find a corresponding replacement for it, but it doesn't say anything about where that is. And you read the entire resolution, which incidentally is improperly described here in what's available to the public as resolution number 2025. It's actually resolution 255, 2025. And my problem with this is that somebody apparently stuck a page on the back that has such a tiny font that nobody in the world can make any sense of what it is that the town is going to actually be using as replacement. I believe this is actually a picture of Shepherd's Woods, but what it is that these blocks are about, for heaven's sakes, if you don't get resolutions until the day of the meeting, ask that they come back when you're ready to tell the people what it is that you're actually doing. If we do need replacement, of course. It's a very complicated issue, and there's certainly controversy about it. But let's have it out in front of this council instead of giving the mayor and the clerk and the manager authority to make the decision for us. That's not in it. One other thing I want to bring to your attention is that Mr. Salmon was unbelievably dismissive of the Fair Share Housing Center's attack on our housing element and fair share plan. Well, that particular center has for some time been the leadership in this state. Whether or not they are working with a law that works at this point is a very real question. But to be as dismissive as Mr. Salmon was of the most respected defenders of affordable housing was unacceptable from our attorney. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Powers. Anyone else on the room like to speak? Ms. Rogovan. Anybody else after Ms. Rogovan? Thank you.
Paula Rogovan. On October 17th, 2023, some told us it was too soon to hold a peace vigil on our town green, often a gathering place during times of crisis. I ask again, too soon? When is the right time? 1,000 killed, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 7,000, 8,000. On August 19th, 2025, more than 62,000 people killed. UNICEF said more than 17,000 were children. Yes, 17,000 children and more under the rubble. Now famine, a deliberate withholding of food, clean water, medicine. Famine. Now, as of September 7th, 2025, the death toll has surpassed 64,300, including more than 20,000 children. Yes, 20,000 children, the future. Now, bombs are dropping daily on apartment buildings in Gaza City, every day. On October 17th, 2023, we chose to gather in the town green, early on in a circle, small lights, thoughtful words, then a song. All we are saying is give peace a chance. It's never too soon to say no to war. On September 9th, 2025, we say to the Township Council, it's never too soon to say no to famine. It's never too soon. The Teaneck Peace and Justice Coalition calls on the Teaneck Council to finally pass a resolution supporting H.R. 2411 to restore funding to UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. The resolution would call for UNRWA to immediately be allowed to resume its program to provide food, medicine, and other supplies to the people of Gaza in order to avert the famine. Yes, we want hostages and political prisoners resumed. Yes, we want a ceasefire. At this moment, it is essential that the people of the world unite and join the call for immediate humanitarian aid under the auspices of UNRWA for the people of Gaza. That is our ask of you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Rogovan. Anybody else? Mr. Bellino. Mr. Siegel, we're not clapping.
Bobby Berliner, Teaneck resident. I didn't realize that we allow props from people at the podium. I know in the past, we've actually asked former council members to remove props. So I really don't appreciate that we allow them now. But it was too soon. October 8th, it was too soon. October 9th, nobody got up here and said, this is awful. October 10th, 11th, 12th, too soon. 13th, still too soon. October 14th was still too soon. October 15th, still too soon. October 16th, still too soon. October 17th, still too soon. I'd like you to do some self-introspection and understand, where are you? What are you thinking? What are you doing? Are you really for peace? Is that really what you're doing? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Belliner. Seeing no other hands, good and welfare is now closed. Before we go to, I'm sorry, you had Zoom. I'm sorry. I thought you said there was, okay. I apologize. Who do you have? No one else in the room. We'll go to Zoom now. What do you got?
We have Keith Kaplan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Simply because the line you walk past is the line that you accept, I feel compelled to state a few facts. One, there is nothing illegal about actions that have taken place at various institutions. If there were, somebody would report it and somebody would, I don't know, file a charge about it at some point, and that's never happened. Now, what is also perfectly legal is lying. And Rich Siegel is lying when he comes up and states otherwise. Paula Rogovan is lying when she comes up and states otherwise. Mr. Berliner was correct. There are times where something is too soon. If someone points a gun at your family and threatens to kill them, and someone calls the police to intervene, and someone says, no, we shouldn't be calling for guns to this scene. No, it is not too soon to prevent police from coming to a dangerous situation. When someone breaks into your country and threatens you, it is not too soon to come in with weapons and go to war to get your people back. These are things that civilized countries do. And if someone broke into Rich Siegel's home, he would call for men with guns to come and protect him. If someone broke into Paula Rogovan's home, she would call for someone with guns to protect her, and they would be within their rights to do so. This is what civilized people do. Unfortunately, people die in war. That is a thing that happens. But we shouldn't lose track of these simple facts. Nothing illegal has been going on, despite the utter ridiculous amount of bullshit that Rich Siegel and the people like him want to spit forward saying otherwise. And it is absolutely incumbent upon people to call out lies and inappropriate comments when they are made from the lectern and not let them go by. I don't relish, coming here to go and say things like this because I think the council is correct not to involve itself in matters that are happening outside its borders. A comment I reluctantly agree to, that then Deputy Mayor Katz was correct when he said it. But you can't let those things go by without simple refutation. They are lying, and they deserve to be called out as liars from the lectern if they are going to come up and say such things. There are no laws against it. They should be ashamed of themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. A reminder, please, no cursing. Mr. Clark, do you see anyone else?
We have Jervon Romney Rice. Please unmute whenever you're ready, Jervon. Jervon Romney Rice. Giving you a second to figure out your tech situation. Vanessa. Vanessa, please say your last name. You have your hand up. You are free to unmute. Vanessa, you're free to unmute. Jervon, you're free to unmute. Jervon. Jervon, you know my email. Vanessa, please email council@tnecnj.gov.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. Anybody else?
Khan, please state your name for the record. Please unmute.
Good evening. This is Reshma Khan, long-term TNEC resident. I find it pretty outrageous that residents can come on Good and Welfare and launch personal attacks on other speakers. I don't think this is the decorum that has to be followed in TNEC. I would appreciate if the council actually decides to take a stand against this kind of hate speech. It is vile and completely unacceptable that someone can have personal attacks in Good and Welfare. This not only discourages people from speaking, but this creates a culture of hate and animosity. And is this what the TNEC Council wants to perpetrate? Why couldn't you have stopped the previous speaker when he started making all those false allegations and personal attacks on previous speakers? Everyone is entitled to their 3 minutes and their opinion. And your job as elected officials is sit there and listen to it as long as it's not hate speech. So Teaneck Council, you can do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Reshma. Anyone else?
Vanessa, you put your hand back up. Please unmute.
Yeah, it's Chris Brown, Bell Avenue. It's funny. So my wife is Vanessa. I didn't realize I'm signed on to the meeting.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Brown.
yeah. Hi, everyone. Hey, Doug, Mayor, Council. How's everyone doing? I just signed on. I wanted to say thank you. There's construction equipment at Sagamore. There's an excavator. There's very large pipes. It's been a really long road. Thank you to everyone, our town manager, mayor, members of council. We're all really excited to see things happening in Sagamore for the benefit of our drainage issue. And it's also wonderful that we've been able to use the playground. I know that keeping the playground open is a priority during construction, considering that there may have to be staging on the grounds. But it's great that it's still open. Hopefully, we'll find a way to keep it open during this time of disruption. And just everybody that is affected by if there is a closure are bad. I'm sorry, just bear with it. It's just one of those things where there's never a good time, but we are really appreciative of the effort being put into that project. On the planning board side, we're still down a member, and hopefully we'll be able to fill that vacancy soon. On another planning board note, I understand that the New Jersey planning officials recognized the master plan for excellence in planning. So just we should take some wins when we can get them. And just thank you to all my planning board colleagues, Deputy Mayor Belcher, everyone that's been involved with the planning with the master plan over the course of time. Excellent job. And also Teaneck Day was a really great event. Great seeing you all there. Deputy Mayors, Councilwoman G, Mayor Schwartz. Great seeing you guys there. Deputy Mayor Organ. So yeah, thank you. Have a great night. Thanks again, and appreciate everyone's support.
Thank you, Chair Brown. Mr. Clerk? Thank you. See no one else. Good and welfare is now closed. And before we go to council, Mr. Attorney, did you have some comments?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are two things I want to cover. The first is that Dr. Powers brought up Resolution 255-2025, which is about the diversion of parkland for the Route 4 project. First of all, I guess I'll say that this resolution was essentially given to us by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. They gave us a resolution with essentially the blanks to fill in where Teaneck's name is, but we're required to use their language because they're the ones that are making the actual application and not us. We tried to add in the map, which I think there are copies up there at the front if anyone wants to see it, to try to provide some clarity as to the property that's being included in here. This is not the last time that the council or the public is going to see this, though. This is actually the first step. This resolution, assuming it is adopted by the council, the next step would be an ordinance, which would actually allow us to convey the property over, and that obviously, as with any ordinance, goes through the two-step process. It will be publicly noticed. The public will be informed. That will have more specific information about the properties for the public to comment on, for the council to consider, and at the end of that process, the council will take an up or down vote on whether or not to adopt it. So it won't be any one member, the mayor, or any one member of the council, or Ms. Hashmat deciding as to these. It will be the full council that's voting on it. The second thing is that an assertion has been made that our redevelopment attorney, Mike Ash, kept the council in the dark about our application for an extension of time for the affordable housing deadlines. That assertion, I mean, I can't be more blunt than saying that it is completely, wildly untrue. Mr. Ash, like all of our attorneys, does not provide his legal advice to the council in public, or we risk losing our attorney-client privilege. That's why we have closed session meetings. I can't go into the details of the conversations or we risk waiving that privilege, but I can tell the public that on 3 separate occasions, both Mr. Ash and myself specifically informed and ensured the council was aware of our motion and that we had not received a response from the court. It is, again, completely untrue that that Mr. Ash kept anyone in the dark when the planning board and the council voted in favor of the housing element part of our plan. We had no idea at that point if or when we would ever get an answer on our motion. It had been out for about 2 months at that point. It had been a response from the court had been overdue by about 2 months. We had followed up repeatedly. They had not gotten a response. If the planning board and the council didn't vote to approve the housing element, when they did, we were at risk of losing our immunity to builders' remedies lawsuits. There are other towns in New Jersey that blew that deadline and are now facing those challenges. I can tell you, I do work in land use work in Lambertville, and they temporarily lost their immunity and were immediately sued because they did not comply, and that was something that was a real risk for us here in TNEC. So the one thing I want to say about that is I want to be clear that neither Mr. Ash nor myself have veto power over the council's decisions, much less that of the planning board. When we finally heard back from the court that our motion for an extension of time had been granted, the decision, the votes had already been taken by both the board and the council, and we can't just simply veto those votes on our own and decide to bring the housing element plan back to you for your consideration. It's just not how it works. We are legally, ethically required to effectuate what the council and what the council decides to do. And so once the council had approved it, we had no option other than to file the plan at that point, regardless of what the court was doing, because the decision had already been made at that point. If someone has a problem with that, they could take it up with the state legislature. They're the ones that impose these requirements, but that is certainly nothing that the council or any of its professionals did wrong. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Okay, council, anyone on council like to speak to good and welfare? Councilman Goldberg?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So I'm going to be quick. Mrs. Baker, I just wanted to thank you. I'm really happy that you're here to say thank you. I know that we spoke, and I'm really happy to hear all this. I hope that the dog relief issue might have been addressed as well. But you were always heard, always, and I would fully support the entrance on Route 4 issue. I knew that's something that you had asked for a couple of years ago, along with some amenities in the buildings for traffic control with milk and lottery tickets. And I would be happy to have a resolution in support for the DOT next meeting. Mr. Berliner and Councilman Kaplan, we all want peace. Thank you for speaking up. Bring them home. And I'm going to keep it at that so everyone can go home and have a good night's sleep. I yield my time.
Thank you very much.
Me?
Yes, please.
Also want to say thank you, Ms. Baker, for coming. I'm so happy that you were pleased with the service you received from our township manager and the police officers. I've always been so inspired by how vocal you've been and how you continue to advocate for yourself and your neighbors. You're an inspiration to children, anyone who wants to get involved across town. And so thank you for doing that. Regarding all of the international issues that were brought up, I deeply, deeply believe that we can have those conversations outside of this space, but I don't believe we should bring them here. I don't think anything will come. We can't really impact anything from these seats internationally, and so we can have those conversations offline, but I don't believe we should do them here. So I don't want people to think that I'm being silent purposefully. I just don't think we can do anything from this seat, and that's why I don't address them. I want to just apologize to Paula. You didn't deserve that. I don't believe that we should, people should be attacking other residents who speak in a way that's disrespectful. I don't think we should be cursing at one another. We should respect one another. That's what TNIC is all about. So I apologize that you had to deal with that, Paula. And I just want to say we do have a quick meeting at the end of the month. So I just wanted to say to all who are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, I'm very excited to be celebrating at all of my children's school as well, and wanted to acknowledge that as well. All right. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Okay, I want to also thank you, Mrs. Baker, for coming out and bringing your neighbor with you, because, you know, it's so important that we rally our neighbors to be a part of causes that are important. So thank you also for coming out. And I look forward to the DOT addressing the issues. And that's what we're going to advocate as well, as much as we can on our end for that. Regarding Resolution 255, I am interested in making sure that the next step of that ordinance is reflective of decisions that are being made about properties, be they replacement properties or properties that are swapped in exchange, but that it's critical that decisions be made by the entire governing body. Okay? We were elected to represent you as our neighbors, so when it comes to voting, we should all be a part of those decisions. I also just want to say the ADU update is a good update. It helps to refine definitions and what we all want to see as it pertains to ADUs being an alternative housing option. And that, I think, is the intent. And interestingly enough, from some of the ads I'm seeing in our mayor's newspaper, it's becoming a cottage industry of organizations that are interested. So definitely there is some excitement and buzz around it. And lastly, I also want to say, Ms. Rogovan, you did not deserve that. I believe that no resident has to sit by and hear personal attacks by anyone. You have a right to your speech, and it is a constitutional right, and people must refrain from personal attacks against our neighbors. It's the right thing to do. I also want to say that yes, peaceful protest is in our Constitution. We are seeing it all around our nation as we are seeing it right here in our town. People have a right to protest. And lastly, I just want to say protest is the voice of the unheard, the act of transforming silence into change. So I thank you all for coming out, and have a great night.
Thank you very much. I'll just end off by saying, and I think council, we've discussed this before, Mr. Clerk, if someone curses, just shut it off. And if they're on the podium, I'll stop them. We're not going to have that. With that said, I thank everyone else for coming, and I don't have much more to add. That wasn't said by everyone, including our attorney, Mr. Salmon. Thank you for all your input tonight. With that said, we're going to move on to the consent agendas, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Clerk, and it's going to be a lot. Well, let's start.
So we got a few things. Don't forget, we also have on our consent agenda Resolution 256, which is moving our September 30th meeting to September 29. We have 257 for Hispanic Heritage Month. We have 2 sets of minutes, 2 sets of raffles. The bills list in the amount of $11,756,950.87. And yes, on our consent agenda, we have Resolution 248, and it sounded like council was of the mindset to not act on that. So if we want to do a consent agenda vote with the bills list, we could do that excluding 248. I have all the appointment resolutions to be divvied out after we handle.
Understood. 248, we're not that we're not acting on it. We're going to clean that up and review it still.
Oh, okay.
We'll see that again.
Table to be determined.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So we'll.
I'd like to pull.
One second before you pull. Do we need to vote on 248's pull?
If we're all of the understand, why don't we just vote on 248?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to pull 248, and we'll do the rest of the stuff on this. So sorry, we'll pull 248, and let's see what else is going to be pulled. Anyone else to pull anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to pull 249, 251, 252, and 255. I was under the impression that we were pulling as well, so I'm going to pull that.
Say that one more time, Councilwoman. I'm sorry.
All right. 249, 251, 252, and 255. And when we do the appointments, can you do them one at a time with the names?
Yeah,
like
we're
we
gonna
can keep track.
We'll talk about the appointments at consent agenda part 2.
Okay. Anybody else to pull anything? With that, I'll make a motion to approve everything else, including the bills list and the amount of.
$11,756,950.87.
So moved, and it was seconded by Councilman Pagan. Roll call, please.
Sorry about that. Councilwoman Goldberg.
Okay. Give me a minute here. So for the minutes for close, I'm abstaining. Yes on the raffles and the other minutes. Yes, and on the bills list, yes, except abstain on everything that is. I have 3 account numbers that I'm abstaining on everything pending discussion with the auditor. So do you want me to read them off to you?
Sure.
All right, so CO4559990222241, CO4559990221114, and CO4559990221115. Thank you.
Councilman Pagan, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes, with an abstention on the bills list.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
All adopted.
Okay.
Now we're at pulled. The first one we had pulled was 248.
I'm going to make a motion that we pull 248 for future consideration.
You have a specific date or to be determined?
Second.
Be determined.
Okay.
Okay. And it's seconded by Councilman Katz.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
So this is to table?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Tabled. See it again in the future. So the next thing we had was 249, Councilwoman Goldberg.
Really quick on this one. So this is for the equipment for snowplow. So a resident had reached out to me, and I think we spoke about this a couple times. Can we, I know this is, so it's not a lot, but just can we look into a shared service with Bogota for districts 1 and 2 on leaves and plows to save on private contracts, and then maybe going forward, we won't have to rent as many equipment going forward? Is that something that you could look into? Only districts 1 and 2, because they do their own, so it's not private, so we're not at the higher rates. That's okay. Thank you, and then I move it.
Sports.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted.
On 251, we're changing the purchasing process on this, and I just didn't understand why. Is there something special for the electric vehicle thing? I don't know. You can address that. So it's the authorization for competitive contract processing to procure the electric vehicle. It's a change in process, and I just didn't understand why, if it was necessary based on the equipment or if it was a money saving issue. And I'm sure the public has a question too.
The resolution is just updated so that we can open it up to an open competitive RFP to go out.
We have to, so that's a different process? Because look, it says in there that it's different than we normally do. So we don't normally, we're going out to competitive bid versus not.
Oh, hold on one moment.
I think with some things, we use the co-ops, and with other things, we don't. So we go out to bid. So they're just resolutions to go out to bid on things that we can't use the approved co-ops for.
Can we move it?
I think the manager is checking something.
On to the next one.
I'll move on to the next one.
Next one.
So the next one, really also quickly, the list, I love this idea for the from the Rota Center. Do we know if the county, how much of this is county reimbursement? I know this is something Dean and I were looking into for a while, and the rates look like they came down. So this was, some of them were good, but I just wanted to know how much of these vendors, the county, if possible, if these are covered under the county reimbursement. This is it looks like the Rota Center was Sean recommended the list of snow plowing companies. So we have the list with the equipment so that we can reach out to it. Is this covered under the county reimbursement? And good job on the rate.
Yes, I
Yeah.
believe so.
Okay, good, thank you. And then I'll move it.
Second, Schwartz. 255.
That was 252. 252, sorry. I'm sorry, I missed the roll call on 251.
The manager's checking.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. 252.
Yeah, I moved it.
Was there a second?
Schwartz.
Thank you, Councilwoman Goldberg. Councilwoman Goldberg?
Yes.
Councilman Pagan?
Yes.
Councilman G?
Yes.
Councilman Katz?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ?
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Stop.
So 255, we talked about amending it. I had a request. I know we talked about adding the map at the end. Can we amend it to list the properties that were like I don't know if it's block and lot or the addresses just for clarity on them in addition to the map? I think Deputy Mayor Belcher and I both talked about that. So amending the motion to include the map that we talked about, but also at the bottom, just list the block and lots or I guess it's not an address. So the block and lots for the public to understand what's going on instead of just the map. Yeah. I spoke to Mike Ash about it. He said that was probably the easiest way to do it.
I mean,
I don't know.
we can
Mayor-
amend it. My only hesitation is that the language is provided to us by DOT. I would imagine they wouldn't care, but I don't know that for sure.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The question is about whether or not we can add the addresses to the bottom of the resolution. The answer is you can do that. I don't know if DOT is going to care or not.
Are the
because
block and lots on the resolution?
No.
they're not in the resolution. We have the map that's attached to it. That has the picture of it, but they're not actually listed
Mr.
there.
Ash said it was okay.
Can you finish, please?
I'm saying what I'm saying is I don't know. I would be surprised if DOT had a problem with it, but I can't say that with 100% certainty that they wouldn't have a problem with it.
And if they have a problem with it?
Then we'd have to come back to the next meeting and redo it.
I'm
I don't think they would have a problem with it. Realistically, I don't.
What is
think they would.
what is your legal advice? Do we say is it, if there's going to be a problem, I'm going to vote against it? Will you believe? What is your advice on that?
My advice would be we can make it clear for the public here. We have the map. Just I would say verbally, we have it, the map that's attached to it. This will come back when we have the ordinance, so we can just say the properties for the record, so that way everyone's clear about it. But I probably wouldn't change the body of the.
Maybe instead of just jumping in here, maybe instead of changing the body of the resolution because of the fear of the DEP's lack of approval, maybe just like how we added the exhibit onto the resolution, maybe we just make a quick document that display the blocks and lots, and we add that as Exhibit B.
Is Mr. Ash still on or no? Like him and I talked before. He said this was fine. And Deputy Mayor Belcher, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, typically a map is not sufficient. You want to give a legal description by block and lot number, I think.
So what we can do is we can add another exhibit that lists it. I'm a little hesitant to just mess with the language because DOT approved it, but we can add another exhibit that references or that lists them. That's I think a fair compromise that Doug just suggested.
So this way we don't change the body of the resolution.
So you're going to add another exhibit which includes the address and the block or the block and lot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you'll get that to me?
Yeah.
And we will include it in the minutes as Exhibit B.
Excellent.
So it's going to have Exhibit A, the map, Exhibit B, the blocks and lots attached after? Like, I mean, we'll pass it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Belcher, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, sure.
Okay, I'll move it then.
Second, Schwartz.
Exhibit B to be attached that pertains the property being, so sorry, the property is being conveyed. Agree. Sorry. Councilman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. Adopted. We'll be adding Exhibit B. And now we are at 250.
Does anyone want to move 251? There's some
I'm
questions.
waiting,
Yeah.
just waiting for the map.
Scott said he was going to chime in on 251.
I'm sorry.
About 251, about the EV chargers. Yeah, you said you were
So
going
basically, what this is just doing, this is just authorizing the council to go out to a competitive bid. It's just the council approving The
Okay.
issuance of an RFP, that's it.
Are you moving
Okay,
that?
so I'll move it.
Second, Schwartz, please call the roll.
Yep.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor, sorry, wait,
You forgot me.
where am I? Did I
You
say
skipped me.
Councilwoman Goldberg even?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Goldberg, one more time.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Did I just skip you? Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. Sorry. Adopted.
Appointments, right?
Very adopted. At this point, we are not ready for adjournment. We are ready for consent agenda part 2. Oh, 255? We didn't finish 255?
We just did it.
We just do.
We moved it.
You
Yeah,
were
it's gonna be Exhibit A
55?
and Exhibit B.
Okay, so it's Exhibit A, Exhibit E. I thought that was,
No, we just did it.
we did it. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, it's 251's adopted.
We're all done. Now we're on to the next show.
Consent agenda
Cons-
part 2.
Part 2.
So we have a bunch of different appointments here, and how we'll do it is we're gonna go one by one. We're at, excuse me, boys, I'm sorry. So we are gonna start at 258. I'm not gonna give the resolution numbers just yet until after the meeting.
Excellent.
I'm gonna say one, and then I'll say the name as they were delivered to us.
And the position, right?
Yes, indeed. Position, term, all that. And if anything doesn't sound right, feel free to stop me. And again, we're at the resolutions now, so you're going to be casting your vote on these appointments. I just want to make sure everyone understands that, right? Okay, cool. So for our first appointment, it's for Richard Contera to the Senior Citizens Advisory Board as a full member. We have the term of January 1, 2024 to December 31, 2025. I need a mover.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Councilwoman Goldberg.
I just wanted to clarify, is this the person that we met with in closed last meeting?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted. Welcome, Richard. We have for the Site Plan Review Advisory Board, Susan Berman for alternate 1, January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Goldberg,
Overwhelming yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Councilwoman Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher, I'm so sorry. Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Cool. We are to PPRAB Parks, Playgrounds, Recreation Advisory Board. Ernest Williams to a full member, January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Goldberg,
No.
Councilman Pagan,
Abstain.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted. We have for PPRAB, Aaron Glatt, full member, January 1, 2024 to December 31, 2025. And just for everyone's clarity in the public, our applicants and council, it's filling an unexpired term. That's why you see it being a different time frame than Ernest just now. It's because Aaron is proposed to fill an unexpired term. That's why the time frame is different. So we have Aaron Glatt, full member, PPRAB 1/1/24 to December 31, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
No.
Councilman Pagan,
Abstain.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
We are on to Tomasa, the Teaneck Municipal Alliance Against Substance Abuse. Victoria Fisher to a full member chairperson. 1/1/25 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Can I ask a question? I thought this was a Board of Ed seat.
It's not.
Oh, I don't think there's a Board of Ed seat, right? Okay.
There was a first from Danielle G, second from Denise Belcher, and a third from Ellie Y. Katz. We have Councilwoman Goldberg.
No, she wasn't interviewed.
We have Councilman Pagan.
No way.
We have Councilwoman G.
Yes.
We have Councilman Katz.
Yes.
We have Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
No.
Mayor Schwartz, I'm sorry.
I'm going to abstain.
3-3-1.
In that case, I believe the nomination does not go forward. Correct, Scott?
Correct.
Thank you. We have Nancy Cochran to Tomasa as a full member. 1/1/25 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes. Excellent person.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Another absolutely.
Mayor Schwartz.
Abstain.
We have Adrian Williams. We're still on Tomasa, folks. We got Adrian Williams, full member, January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Abstain.
We have Tiffany Walker.
What board is this?
This is Tomasa still. Tiffany Walker continuing to be our FDU rep. 1/1/25 to December 31, 26.
God. Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Abstain.
We have Michael Meyer still on Tomasa. This is Michael Meyer, our health officer. Roll January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Which board is this one?
Tomasa.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman G. Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Hearing great things.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. And last for Tomasa is from our police department, Anderson Ramirez, January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
Oh, so moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Abstain.
We are done with Tomasa.
You're not.
Oh, no, we're not done with Tomasa. You're right. I was testing you and you passed. A riveting consent agenda part 2. We have another nomination. This one came from Deputy Mayor Organ for Tomasa for Jen Lease.
Yep.
This is going to be for January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Same.
Now we're done with Tommaso. And we are to Board of Adjustment. We have Jonathan Cohen to a full member, filling the unexpired term to December 31, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
No, we didn't interview him.
Councilman Pagan,
Abstain.
Councilwoman G,
Yes, we've interviewed him several times in the last couple of years.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted. Now we are at Sean Evans, Environmental Commission. Oh, sorry. That was Board of Adjustment. We're bouncing to Planning Board. Sean Evans, Environmental Commission member on the PB.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Cool. You don't even know what term he's going for. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Sean Evans. So that was, who was the first? I'm so sorry.
I'm the second on it.
You can take it.
There you go.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
Not as the environmental, liaison, so no.
Councilman Pagan.
This is just as the EC member, right?
Yeah, that's what Doug said.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. Now we have Yehuda Cohn for Planning Board. Class 4 position, filling an unexpired term that ran from January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2027.
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Goldberg,
Abstain only because when I spoke to him, he indicated he wanted off of both boards, so this is new information to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Councilman Pagan,
Abstain for the same reason I thought he wanted off.
Councilman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
That's it for Planning Board. We are on to POAB, Patriotic Observance Advisory Board. We have Mr. Joseph Avino here for a full member, 1/1/25 to 12/31/26.
Motion.
So, second.
Councilman Goldberg,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes, he's a great guy.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. That's POAB. We're bouncing back to Planning Board.
The seats are all full now.
Yeah, I think the positions are all filled according to the votes.
The rest of the resolutions are moot.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. I was testing you all and you passed. Well done, Council.
So we can go home.
I didn't say that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
What else do you have next on the agenda?
That is actually indeed it.
And do we have any new resolutions?
What?
No.
No, I'm sorry, new ordinances. I apologize.
Oh,
No
no.
ordinance? No
Definitely.
ordinance, no resolution. So with that, is there anything else, Mr. Clerk, before I call for a motion to adjourn? No backsies on this.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, you're good.
Can I just say two things? I just wanted to thank Michael Dodds and Yael Geller for applying. I thought they were amazing candidates, and I hope they apply again. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved. Second. All in favor? We're adjourned.